Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show. On our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers, we need to get there. We need to continue to build this community. So please hit subscribe, watch, comment. I want your comments. It makes these shows better. And share with your friends, because we are on that journey and we will get there. Why? Because it's important. And you know why it's important? Because MAGA GOP leaders, they don't stop. They are continuing to try to defend Trump as he becomes more and more erratic. Crazy. I mean, let's start on a lighter note. Senator Tommy Tuberville, who, as you know, I have no regard for, he seemed to forget what a triangle is. Play the clip.
Just going to help there. Pete Hegseth has welcomed Doge to come into the military. We have to start in the Pentagon. We need to make a trigon, 3 sides instead of 5 sides in the Pentagon. It is way too big, way overbloated. They have, 40,000 people in the Pentagon, then 100,000 people across the street in Arlington that are making tons of money. We have to cut back and do it for the warfighter. Help the warfighter build equipment, do the things we need to do. We can get the cuts, but we need to continue to do what Pete has done, is cut out all the bloat and all the DEI, get our military back to a killing machine, somebody that can protect this country and our allies.
No, seriously. You didn't hear that from me. You heard that from Tommy Tuberville. A trigon. Oh, so now he's turning the Pentagon into a triangle. Speaker Mike Johnson goes on CNN with Caitlin Collins, where she hits him with a tough question. She asks him a truly important question about whether a continuing resolution would refund all the programs that Elon is cutting. Wait till you hear this reaction. Play the clip.
Certainly an absurd notion, but they're standing by that. So
CR go, do you believe?
Well, we haven't negotiated that yet, but if it's a CR, it may be an entire year-long CR with some anomalies on it. You know how all this works, but it's not what we prefer. We would like to do individual appropriations bills, but it takes both parties to negotiate that. And right now, the Democrats are trying to, it looks like, trying to set up a government shutdown. We can't allow that to happen, and we won't.
Well, you just talked about how important the work that Elon Musk is doing is. If you pass a continuing resolution, won't that just refund all the programs that he says he's cutting that are full of waste, fraud, and abuse?
No, look, you can, that's why I say you add anomalies to a CR. You can increase some spending, you can decrease some spending, you can add language that says, for example, the dramatic changes that have been made to USAID would be reflected in the ongoing spending. It would be a clean CR, mostly, I think, but with some of those changes to adapt to the new realities here. And the new reality is less government, more efficiency, better return for the taxpayers. And I think that's something everybody should welcome.
I'll tell you what. It's incredible. I mean, think about it this way. We're going to be cutting fraud, waste, and abuse to numbers and levels never seen before, right? Why do you need to increase the budget then? I thought that you're reducing the budget. In fact, if you listen to Tommy Tuberville, if you listen to Mike Johnson, if you listen to all the GOP MAGAs, things are already moving. Things are already going in the right direction. They are cutting from our budget to make our tax dollars go further, to make us into killing machines. Well, if that's true, why then do you need to pass a resolution? Why do you need to go and try to increase the budget? I thought that was saving money, right? You're scratching your head too? Well, you should. Now, here's a topic that's been in massive discussion: Guantanamo Bay. I mean, Gitmo has been under scrutiny after reports came out that they were treating prisoners there improperly. When I say prisoners, I'm talking about migrants that they deem to be dangerous. And this is what Pete Hegseth had to say to Laura Ingraham about this report. Play the clip.
Saw them. We didn't talk to them or interact with them, but we saw them, saw their living conditions.
And what do they look like?
It's austere, it's basic, but it's every basic amenity that you could need is provided. Medical checks, dental checks, healthcare checks, welfare checks, recreational opportunities. But again, it's austere and it's basic because it should be. you broke our laws, if you may temporarily have to go to Gitmo, and then you're going home.
An ACLU group is saying that the confinement there is tantamount to solitary confinement, which is against the UN rules on how you have to house people like this, because they only get 2 hours of outside time, outside of their cells. What do you say to that?
But I say bull to the ACLU. I know what their agenda is. They want to make America look bad. They want to make our Commander-in-Chief, President Trump, look bad. These are top-notch, top-tier facilities run by professionals where they bend over backwards to make sure that medical, dental, healthcare, food, religious accommodations, language accommodations all exist. No, you're not going to have universal freedom at Guantanamo Bay. It's a prison. But they get all the time that they need as a temporary place to send them home. This is about temporarily holding high-profile, high-threat individuals who then we send home.
Now,
this is what we're dealing with. Jesse Waters, one of my favorite people in the world, asks Pam Bondi about rumors that there is an investigation looking into James Comey. Let me start by saying the following. I don't care about James Comey. I really don't. And if in fact James Comey did something improper, yeah, he should be held accountable. But that's not where this conversation goes. Play the clip.
We're hearing reports that there was an investigation opened into James Comey, who may have thrown honeypots at Donald Trump back in the 2015, 2016 years. Is that true?
Jesse, I don't know anything about what you're saying about James Comey right now.
Okay. That was a report.
Don't know anything about that.
That was a report that was cited in the Washington Times. I'll take it at that.
Again, I mean, maybe your executive producers should have turned around and say, hey, Pam, before you come on, do you know anything about these honeypots? What a bunch of bullshit. Now, again, I don't know much about James Comey. I don't care for James Comey. As far as I'm concerned, he was part of the entire bullshit that happened to me at the very, very beginning. And as far as I'm concerned, if he did something wrong, fuck yeah, he should be held accountable, just as every single person should be. Now, Bondi also speaks about the court and the court stopping or trying to stop Doge's initiative. The thing that I'm most concerned about as it becomes more and more clear that we really don't know what Doge is. We don't know who's involved. We don't know who's employed by it. We truly don't really know these answers other than to say that Elon Musk appears to be the face of it, along with a handful of really young kids, including one who has been dubbed Big Balls. Play the clip.
We're hearing a lot about Doge. Has Doge been an issue for the Department of Justice? Are you guys getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse?
So to say Doge has been an issue is an understatement, because we are defending everything Doge is doing, whether it's the EPA with Lee Zeldin or Marco and USAID and Secretary of State. All the departments, what they're doing has truly been remarkable. The waste, the spending, it was more than any of us could have ever anticipated. Here's an example of a case that we've been handling with Scott Bessent, Secretary of Treasury. We had a judge rule that the Secretary of Treasury himself could not control payments out of the Department of Treasury. If it wasn't so outrageous, it would be comical. Only a career employee could control payments, not a political, not even the appointed commissioned Secretary of the Treasury. So that's the kind of stuff we're up against. But we are fighting back. We are going to take every single case to the Supreme Court. And if you have taken funds that you shouldn't have, we're coming after you.
So you're finding that...
Yeah, I think the case that they're actually referring to has to do with payments that the Treasury is required to send out because it's actually Congress that appropriated the funds. That's what I think that they were talking about. But that's not the way it sounded to me, right? Now, after Trump's cabinet meeting, Alina Habba speaks to Laura Ingraham about China buying American real estate. Play the clip.
Alina, a little murmuring in MAGA land about, the comments about China today. Did MAGA vote for China to be able to buy up more American real estate or American companies, they ask?
Is that really a question? Really? That's what we're doing now? The spin? That's the spin? Yeah, no. What the president said was very simple. It's the same policy we've had across the board. When you look at reciprocal tariffs, when you look at the strong arm that President Trump has had with China, with Canada, with Mexico, we want America to be safe. We care about American people first. It's like what you just said in your monologue. I couldn't have said it better. America first.
Alina, but you can't buy reciprocity would mean Americans can go off and buy lots of Chinese real estate,
No.
Near military bases, which I know President Trump is not in favor of.
No.
But the concern obviously is like, we want to do, the deals are great and so much of them are phenomenal, but you see where Democrats are starting to like worm their way into the populist agenda and say, whoa, how is that for the American worker to bring in thousands of more foreign workers? That is what some on the MAGA side are, kind of whispering about, but nevertheless, it's out there.
Yeah, let me clarify that then, if there's any confusion. What the president was referring to was us continuing to have business relations. We do import, export. Of course we do. That is what we're talking about. Yes.
No, it's not. And that wasn't the question. But then Haba goes on and says that she hopes all bosses run their companies how Trump is running America. Play the clip.
It's pretty common sense.
How about just work? Like, never mind essential role. That's easy. Are you working? Are you working? Are you double dipping? Are you working for another company? And if you cannot say that you are working, you do not have a job pretty much anywhere. And I hope that any boss runs their company the way President Trump is running this country. And
let me be clear about something. I absolutely agree with Alina on this. I absolutely 100% agree with Trump in this notion. If people are now holding two jobs at the exact same time because of the stupidity of you don't have to come to work, you can do things remote, I'm with them 100%. They're taking advantage. They are abusing the system. They're stealing from us. I am 100% in agreement. But what if it's not? What if that's not the issue? And one bad apple should not become the denominator in this question. Now, Haba also goes on and defends Trump's positive comments regarding Putin. This I just can't believe. Play the clip.
What we have voted, the American people have voted for on November 5th. But that means that, yes, we're going to be tough, but we still want to make money. We still want to be producing. We still want to work with other countries. China's just another example. It's a lot like, Laura, when the president says something like, Putin is bright, or Putin, that doesn't mean he's praising him. That means that he is acknowledging the situation. What is good for America? What is America first? If you say we're not going to have Amazon, we're not going to have anything imported or exported with China, that's not realistic. That's not what he's saying. We want to do business, but it's got to be done the right way. And that is what the president was referring to. But of course, the spin is real, as you know.
Okay, that's not really the question, and that's not the issue. All right, let me be very clear about something. Russia is not an ally of America. Russia is an adversary. They interfere in our elections. They interfere in a multitude of things. They are constantly trying to hack into our systems. And this we know because the FBI says so, including the FBI under the Trump first administration. Now, I agree. You could praise Vladimir Putin without basically bending the knee or trying to become his best pal. But I'm not so sure that that's exactly what's going on here. And lastly, I want to show you a clip of spin expert press secretary Caroline Leavitt continuing to gaslight the American people. Play the clip.
Yeah, I mean, the Associated Press says you're restricting access to the president and you're restricting access of the free press.
It's a very hard argument to make when the president of the United States holds press conferences himself for more than an hour, sometimes multiple times a day, and takes questions from an array of journalists from outlets on the left and on the right. This is the most accessible and transparent administration in history, and anybody who just watches the television can see that, except for the Associated Press, I guess. Even a judge, a federal judge in Washington, D.C., sided with us in saying that the Associated Press or any outlet does not have a legal right to go into the Oval Office and ask the president questions. It is a privilege, and it's a privilege that has unfortunately been restricted by this group of D.C.-based journalists who call themselves the White House Correspondents Association and have had a monopoly over the White House and its press access. Not anymore. Yesterday, we announced that the White House is now going to control the pool rotation of reporters who get to fly on Air Force One, get to go into the Oval Office and ask President Trump questions. And we are going to keep the legacy media outlets around because we're not afraid to take questions from anybody. But we're also going to add those new voices in the mix who deserve to be there and who are excited about the privilege of enjoying this Trump administration and asking the president of the United States questions.
Well, there's a lot to enjoy, but before...
Yeah. Newsmax, OAN, and any other outlet that capitulates to Trump's whims. This is where we're at. That's why I say, help to build the community. That's on you. And as always, thanks for listening.
Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.